So I guess I'm supposed to come on here and get the hollering and screaming about what these people trying to do to me, right? So let me bring y'all up to speed to what's going on. Alexander Zumbar, the Stark County treasurer, he found the complaint for foreclosure against me and my estate. Now let me state for the record that I'm a Moorish American national. American national, that's my status. Natural heir and beneficiary of the land. Now, anytime when you have natural and unalienable rights and somebody is coming for your personal property or trying to create liability, if they're going to bring suit, they have to file suit in the Article 3 venue. This right here is not an Article 3 venue. These are privateers trying to use these agencies to basically war against the people of the land, because this is not Article 3. You know, they're using private processes to try to get either Federal Reserve notes out of you or some type of land or property out of you, you know. So this been going on for about 2 years now, right? This was been going on since like July of 2022. So check this out. I received the tax lien pending from the Stark County treasurer, talking about they're going to lien my property if I don't pay him these property taxes. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm a natural heir and beneficiary. I own my land. You can't tax my land. There's no constitutional law or constitutional anything that says that you have a right to lay tax on indigenous land, or you're going to put a false lien on my indigenous property, because no foreign corporation can lay any type of lien to any property. Let that be stated. So if I decide to pay you Federal Reserve notes, I have a right to know who I'm paying and who I'm dealing with, and if you legit, for my record. So I sent him an affidavit, Alexander Zumbar of the Stark County Treasurer. I sent him an affidavit. Here it is right here. You can look the number up and look, he's been served, right? And look what I demanded from him. Oath of office, indemnity bond, and I demanded all types of I demanded other information from him concerning my property. Show me the lien, show me a lien, show me that you have jurisdiction, delegation of authority to do what you say you're going to do, and second of all, show me the laudial title that you even own this property, because you don't. I got it. Failure to rebut, failure to reply. So that brings us up to here, right? So now 2 years later, which is recently, I get a notice from Alexander Zumbar, Gerard T. Youst, which is the assistant prosecutor, Stark County assistant prosecutor, Gerard T. Youst. I got a complaint from him, where Alexander Zumbar saying we're going to take you to court and take your property and sell it if we don't get the money that you owe us. I don't owe you anything. You can't foreclose. You're not a mortgage company. I never, this property was passed down. This property went from my great aunt to my mother, from my mother to me. Never had a mortgage on this property. Never. So how can you foreclose on something? So anyways, I sent him an affidavit asking him for his bond and his oath of office again. This time they actually responded. Here's the response from the deputy treasurer. There's the date. September 2024. Look at the response that I got from asking Alexander Zumbar for demanding his bond again through the FOIA, which is the Freedom of Information Act, and the Ohio Public Records Act. It's law, especially when it's concerning when I have an interest in this. I have a right to know all this information. You feel me? So look, good afternoon. Per the attached request, attached, please find the oath of office for Alexander Zumbar, which is held by our office. However, as it relates to the remainder of the request, we do not process that information. Wow. They don't process that information. That's because his bond sits with the auditor. I know where it sits. But if I ask you for it, it's up to him to provide it to me. Period. So she sent me his oath. And look what I got. She didn't send the bond. Now the bond, let me tell y'all this. When it comes to a public official, any official that calls themselves legit, that's a true official, they must have an oath of office accompanied with a bond. The bond is the insurance and just in case they create some type of liability in the public, or if they embezzle money in their own department. That bond is so the public don't eat the liability. So he's supposed to have a bond in place, or he cannot discharge his duties. He can't be in there. He can't even have a job unless he have a bond on file. But they sent that oath of office. Look, he swore to the Constitution. Let me show you his oath. I, Alexander Zumbar, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of what? The United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Ohio. Oh my goodness. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the treasurer in the Stark County, Ohio, so help me God. So there's his oath, but he didn't send a bond. Now, you got to make this make sense to me, right? I'm not understanding what's going on because you sent your oath, but you don't have a bond. So now that Gerard T. Youst is acting as his attorney, which is the county prosecutor. So now I got the county prosecutor, well, the assistant prosecutor appointed by the prosecutor of the county to come collect this fraudulent tax, unlawful tax off of me, or they're going to collect and sell my property, my indigenous land, right? So I wrote Kyle Stone an affidavit and asked Kyle Stone for his bond information. Freedom of information request. Here it is. Now look. Now I sent it August 27th, 2024. There's the receipt saying they received it. Look at this. Look at here. September 4th, 2024. Look at the answer I get. Per the public record request, August 27, 2024, please find the oath of office for Kyle Stone and Gerard T. Youst, which is held by our office. However, as it relates to the remainder of of your request, we do not possess those documents recorded in this office. Remember that. Recorded in this office. Thank you. That came from Gerard T. Youst, the assistant prosecutor. Now listen. But guess what? I have their oaths. Kyle Stone, do solemnly swear that I will support the what? Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and faithfully discharge the duties of office of what? Prosecuting attorney, Stark County, Ohio. So he took an oath to the Constitution for the United States, of the United States, right? But let's see if he actually adheres to it. He took an oath to it. Let's see if they be acting constitutional. Now, there's his, and we don't have to go through it again. It's on file, Judge Polis signed off on it. Now look. And then Kyle Stone appointed Gerard T. Youst. See what I'm saying? But no bond. So you listen, if you don't have a bond in place, how can you be in office and discharge your duties if you don't have a bond in place? That's a question for you, Kyle Stone, Alexander Zumbar, Alan Harold. The Stark County auditor. That's the question for all of you. All of you. If you don't have a bond or fail to produce a bond, how are you in office discharging your duties? Explain this one to me. Because now I'm going to start from the head. I'm going to start from the head up. Let's start with the county prosecutor, the prosecutor attorney, because he's the one that knows about all of this. Now we ain't even get to the fraud yet. That's coming up in part 2. I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna show y'all how they did this, right? Now check this out. Prosecutor and attorney. This the Ohio Compliance Supplement. This is for them in their municipality. Hold on, let me blow it up a little bit so y'all can see. So now, condition upon. When is it given? Just look at this. Condition upon faithful discharge of official duties and to pay over all monies received by him in his official capacity. Bond paid by official bond, Board of County Commissioners. So the county commissioners pay for his bond. Term of his bond is the tenure of his office. When is the bond given? Before entering upon the discharge of his official duties. Official bond before the payment of the FOJ monies and FOJ bond. So he's not even supposed to be in office until he has a bond in place, but he will not give it to me, or he don't have one. He don't have one. And there's the conditions. How much he has to pay. And there's the statute that he has to go by, stating that it states that he must have a bond before the discharge of his duties. There it is right there. Now let's go to the Stark County Treasurer. This is about to get good, y'all. Now let's go to the Stark County Treasurer, right? Now I already told you his bonds sit with the county auditor. It's deposited with the county auditor. But nonetheless, when is it given? On or before the day the commencement of the official term of office and before entering upon the discharge of his duties of office. Before the entering of the discharge of the duties of office. Now, didn't this woman just tell me from the county treasurer's office that they don't have it? When I asked him personally for his bond, whether it sits with him or it sits in another office, it's his job to give it to me. If I demanded it, he has to provide it. It's public record. Now, I asked Kyle Stone for his, and he didn't provide it. He failed to provide it, and he must have it before the discharge of his duties. So now I have a question for Kyle Stone. Kyle Stone, this is for you. This is a public record for you, buddy. Because Kyle Stone is the county prosecutor, right? And he's the one that approves everybody else's bond before they can discharge of their duties. Right? That's the county prosecutor's job, is to prove everybody else's bond under him in the county. So how can you appoint the treasurer, Alexander Zumbar, or Alan Harold, or anybody else that's involved with this matter? How can you appoint them if you don't have a bond? I just showed you. We can go on back there, back to Kyle Stone. And remind you, now I just showed you the revised code, y'all revised code that you have to go by, right? Let me remind y'all from Gerard T. Yaus, and he's speaking for who? Per the public records request, August 27, 2024. Please find the oath of office for who? Kyle L. Stone and Gerard T. Yaus, which is held by our office. However, the related remainder of the request, we do not possess that those documents or records in this office. But you know what's so crazy? Now, I sent it to Alexander Zumbar. For who? Kyle Stone. Because that's where his bond sits with the treasurer. I just showed you that in the revised code. But so why Do Gerard T. Youse answer me and says that your their bonds doesn't sit with that in that office? See the fraud? Produce a bond. None of them have bonds, but they call themselves want to bring a suit outside of an Article 3 venue when it comes to your natural and unalienable rights and personal property. So let me show you what Alexander Zimbar do once I start pointing out their fraud. Now it's about to get juicy, y'all. It's about to get juicy. Let me show you what he do. He sued my estate, which is my trust. Brung my mother into this, has nothing to do with this property. Unknown spouse of How can you serve an unknown spouse? You can't. If you're going to serve somebody for court, you have to have a name. They have to be served with a signature receipt or something. James P. Jackson. Don't know who this person is. So James P. Jackson of Alliance, please step forward. Well, I already sent them an affidavit. We'll get to that later. Right? Let me point out the fraud. Unknown spouse of James P. Jackson. Once again, how can you serve an unknown spouse? This is fraud at its finest. Florence Jackson, who I do not know who these people are, y'all. Pay attention. I just showed you on the tax documents from 2 years ago on this land. None of these people have ever domiciled or been here. Unknown spouse of Florence Jackson. They ain't done yet. Look at all these people they added to the case. This is gonna tear y'all up. James Jackson Jr. of Indiana Way. Unknown spouse of James Jackson Jr. United States Department of Justice. They served a building. Look, they didn't even put a name on it. Carl B. Stokes building. That's the federal building in up there in Cleveland, right? How are you going to serve somebody, subpoena some, or serve a building? No name. In the United States Department of Treasury. This where they had me fucked up at. I ain't even gonna lie. Because we are the Treasury. Goof troop. That's why y'all coming at me the way y'all coming at me, because y'all trying to get in my trust and I won't let y'all. And I won't pay you out my pocket. I'm not paying you Federal Reserve notes. Only way I can pay is in silver and gold, is with real money. Period. I'm not paying y'all. I'm not paying you nothing because I don't owe you nothing. Especially with this fraud, you can cancel that. Why would I ever comply and deal with any of y'all when y'all have to bring this type of fraud into play? Then look, right? Unknown tenant of where I'm at, right? Of the consulate, of my tribal property. Now they added all these people. These were scare tactics. But this right here, the Treasury, we are the Treasury. That's why you're always trying to get into our Social Security number. Stop it. Now, as far as them, I don't know. But guess what? We're going to get to that in the next video. I'm going to show y'all what's going on. So now let me put this in a sense for y'all, right? Alexander Zimbar, one person, as a plaintiff versus all of these people when it's only just me that's on my property. Look. Look. Who is all these people? Don't know who they are. Never met them in my life. I don't know. But I'm going to show y'all what they tried to do. Now, this is how you know it's some bullshit. Because you got the Stark County Treasurer. Matter of fact, let me open that back up. Going against the United States Department of Justice. But the United States Department of Justice is as a defense on my side. They listen as a defendant, alleged defendant, as a co-defendant on this unlawful case. These are libels. These are libels. This ain't a case. These are libels. Look, put them on my side. The United States Department of Treasury. County Treasurer. Man, make this make sense, right? Make it make sense. Him in his private capacity because he don't have qualified immunity. Period. He's going through this. All of them are going through this because I caught their fraud. Period. And I'm holding their feet to the fire about it. So y'all stay tuned. And I'm gonna put y'all up on game to full disclosure of what they doing to people. They running around and Cal Stone, answer this. This is public record now. Why come you ain't doing nothing to stop it? You the one signing off on it. You the county prosecutor. You supposed to lock up criminals. Why is you coming at a non-enemy combatant American national, Moorish American national? So-called county prosecutor. And where the fuck is your bond? Show your bond, because y'all don't have one. Don't none of y'all have one. I asked you for it and you wouldn't provide it. Y'all failed to answer the affidavits and y'all fell in default. Period. The problem with y'all is y'all don't never want to. Y'all took an oath to the Constitution, but you ignore it all day long. You ignore it all day long. You don't want to hear it. And then as soon as I have a right to defend myself and I have a right to exercise my rights, my natural rights. That don't mean come after me and make up false allegations and liability to sit here to try to steer the narrative for the people of the land that really don't know law. That's the only reason why y'all go the route y'all go, is because you know the majority of the public don't know law. And then y'all just proceed and proceed. Fuck what he got to say. We're going to ignore everything he say. Ignore. We're just going to proceed and we're going to do what we want to do. Not over here, you're not. And if you do, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire. I'm going to be in y'all ass until y'all hit the dirt. Nope. Because guess what? Fraud doesn't have no statute of limitation. And right now, this starting to look like racketeering. I'm going to give it y'all later. I holla. Full disclosure. Tribe up, y'all. They dug up my deceased great aunt's, yes, death certificate. This how dirty they play. This has nothing to do with this land right now. Nothing. It's just me and my trust, and now they trying to pry their way in out of nowhere, create liability, or try to contract with me, and I don't want to contract with them. This is a lie. So now what they did was, if y'all didn't notice, they went and attached all these Jacksons as defendants as if they were prior owners to this property. Look what they do. Federal tax lien in the amount of $43,000 against James P. Jackson and Florence Jackson, which they are a married couple. Remember that, they are a married couple. James P. Jackson and Florence Jackson. Recorded 2006. And on the record instrument, this is the instrument you can find at the county recorder's office, right? Look what they say. Prior owner. But then says right after prior owner, unable to determine if it applies to the property. Make this make sense. So you trying to attach somebody else's liability on top of the fraudulent taxes that you asking for me. This is clearly y'all trying to steal my property, man. Y'all trying to steal my land through vexatious litigations. This is bullshit. Now, look, another one. Federal tax lien has nothing to do. I don't even know who these people are. Against James Jackson Jr. Filed with the county recorder. Look, prior owner unable to determine if it applies to property. Prior owner, but unable to determine if it applies to property. Then why in the fuck are you adding them as a defendant in a suit? If you don't know if these people's debts are part and parcel of my land, which they're not, because I don't even know who these people are. Now this how goofy they is, right? My great aunt and great uncle couldn't even have kids.